First and foremost, I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the brothers that's pushing this work in all sincerity and in truth. I'm the brother Yahayar from the James Kingston Jamaica camp, here with a quick lesson. And this one is basically surrounding where your true value lies. What brings forth value in an individual, especially an individual that's a part of the body of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Because in this world, the world deems a person's value based on their possession, based on their net worth. Understand? Based on the acquisition of wealth. That's what they deem a person's value on. But within the truth, within the knowledge of the Heavenly Father, true value is based upon your wisdom that you possess in the spirit. And wisdom cometh by what? The fear of the Heavenly Father. Through true fear of the Heavenly Father. That is where your value comes from. Understand? And the Heavenly Father gave us this wisdom because he stated in the book of Esdras, 2nd Esdras chapter, I think is chapter 6 verse 55. It tells you that he made the world for our sakes. But when he made the world, he gave us a particular set of instructions, which is the wisdom. Understand? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of how to govern the world. Now that is where the value resides, in how to control and possess everything in the true glory and state that the Heavenly Father meant it to be ruled in. Right? Now, this is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 4, start of verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that he should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. Right? So he didn't say that in the sight of all the nations, the people going to say, surely this nation is a wealthy people. Surely this nation possesseth wealth. Right? It says that they shall look on and say, surely this nation is a wise and understanding people. Right? That's the essence of what the Heavenly Father blessed us with, to value us. Right? He didn't value us based on possessions, based on material wealth. He valued us based on the wisdom and understanding that we supposed to have in following after his instructions. Right? This is the book of Proverbs 8. Start at verse 10. Receive mine instruction and not silver, knowledge rather than choice gold. So the Proverbs is stating that wisdom, the instructions, right, is better and more precious than silver and gold. It continues and says, for wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogance, and the evil way, and forward mouth do I hate. Right? So it says, wisdom, dwell with prudence, and find out knowledge of witty inventions. This is the stance that you're supposed to take in increasing your value. Increase of value is not via the increase of physical or material wealth. Increasing of value is through the knowledge and wisdom of the Heavenly Father. Right? when Solomon was made king, let me just pull that up in the book of 1 Kings chapter 3. We can start at 1 and start at verse 4. You understand? Now this is a decision that all of us has to make when it comes on to acquisition and increasing our value in oneself. Are you gonna choose material wealth over the wisdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? That is a question that is to be asked to all men that desire which is most precious of all things. What you deem to be most precious of all things is what you're going to end up acquiring. Right? What you seek after is what you're going to end up acquiring. Now, if you seek after the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahushai, the scriptures is going to reveal unto you that you're going to gain tenfold more than that. But if you're only seeking after the physical wealth, when you're seeking after material things, you're seeking corruption. And when you're seeking corruption, your reward is gonna be corruption, man. Right? But when you're seeking incorruption, which is the word of the Heavenly Father, the wisdom of the Heavenly Father, you're going to gain a perpetual glory that is far beyond any material acquisition that you could ever imagine. Right? Your value is going to abound forever. That is what the scripture is trying to show you. If you open your mind and seek to understand. This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 3, start at verse 4. And the king went to Gibeon to sacrifice there, for that was the great high place. 1,000 burnt offerings did Solomon offer upon that altar. In Gibeon, the Lord appeared to Solomon in a dream by night, and God said, "Ask, what I shall give thee." Solomon said, "Thou hast shewed unto thy servant David my father great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept for him this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. And now, O Lord my God, thou hast made thy servant king instead of David my father, and I am but a little child. I know not how to go out or come in. And thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people, that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. Give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. For who is able to judge this thy so great a people?" And the speech pleased the Lord, that Solomon had asked this thing. And God said unto him, "Because thou hast asked this thing, thou hast not asked for thyself long life, neither hast asked riches for thyself, nor hast asked the life of thine enemies, but thou hast asked for thyself understanding to discern judgment. Behold, I have done according to thy words. Lo, I have given thee a wise and understanding heart, so that there was none like thee before thee, neither after thee shall any arise like unto thee. And I have also given thee that which thou hast not asked, but riches and honor, so that there shall not be any among the kings like unto thee all thy days. And if thou wilt walk in my ways to keep my statutes and my commandments, as thy father David did walk, then I will lighten thy days. And Solomon awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And he came to Jerusalem, and stood before the ark of the covenant of the Lord, and offered up burnt offerings, and offered peace offerings, and made a feast to all his servants. That was a good example of how your heart, your mind supposed to, what your mind supposed to dwell upon, right? Because one thing, when you focus on material wealth, when you focus on self-acquisition in terms of materialism, right, you're not seeking in the means of pleasing the Heavenly Father. You're not humbling yourself in the sight of the Heavenly Father, right? The scripture tells us, say, he that exalted himself shall be abased, but he exalted. A key thing that Solomon did right here was that he humbled himself. Understand? He humbled himself in the sight of the Heavenly Father. And instead of asking of things which was supposed to exalt him in a carnal means, he asked of something that's supposed to exalt him in spiritual means, to serve the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, which was a discerning heart to judge and rule the people of the Heavenly Father, to govern them, to guide them in all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That is where your true value comes in, man. You understand? Because at the end of the day, when you feel that this self-acquisition of material wealth is going to make you any more greater in the presence of the world, you're wrong. At the end of the day, you are, as scripture tells us, you as grass, man. You understand? I'm going to get that. But first, let me get the book of Luke, chapter 12, start at verse 15, and say, start at verse 14. And he said unto him, Man, who made me a judge or divider over you? And he said unto them, Take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. A man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. Right? Continuing. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruits? And he said, This will I do, I will put down my barns and build greater, and there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. And I will say to my soul, Soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? So is he that laid up treasure for himself, and is not rich toward God. Right? You're laying up treasures for yourself, and you're not rich towards the Heavenly Father. At the end of the day, the scripture says you're as dust. Right? The one that places the true value on your life, on your presence and existence in this world, is the Heavenly Father. It's not about what man sees you as or deem you as. All these politicians in the world right now, Donald Trump, Mark Pine, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, all of those men are as nothing in the sight of the Heavenly Father. The true men that are of worth and are of value and are building themselves up are the men of the Lord that continuously push His word in sincerity and in truth. Those are the men that the true pinnacles of the world which is to come. Right? As the scripture says, a man's life consisted not in the abundance of the things which he has. See? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the conclusion of the matter, we are nothing. Whereas dust, man. See? This is the book of Psalms 103. Start at verse 14. For he knoweth our frame. He remembereth that we are dust. As for man, his days are as grass, as a flower of the field, so he flourisheth. For the wind passeth over it, and it is gone, and the place thereof shall know it no more. But the mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting upon them that fear him. See? The scripture tells us, fear is the beginning of wisdom, and his righteousness unto children's children. Right? This is the book of 1 Peter. 1 Peter 1:25. It says in word Slakia. 1 Peter 24. For all flesh is as grass, and all the glory of man as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. All the glory of men, because men in this time glory in carnality. They glory in vain things like women, car, house, money. Scripture say the glory of men are as the flower of grass. The grass withereth, and the flower thereof falleth away. Think about that. Alright? This is the book of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes, I think, is 9 and 16. Let me see. Alright, we start at verse 14. So it says, there was a little city, and few men within it. And there came a great king against it, and besieged it, and built great bulwarks against it. Now there was found in it a poor wise man, and he by his wisdom delivered the city. Yet no man remembered that same poor man. Then said I, wisdom is better than strength. Nevertheless, the poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. The words of wise men are heard in quiet more than the cry of him that ruleth among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroyeth much good. Right? The poor man's wisdom is despised, and his words are not heard. But at the end of the day, when calamity rise up, when shit start hit the fan, the value of life resides in that poor man's wisdom. He is the one that was able to save the city. He is the one that was able to endure. Right? So at the end of the day, when all things come full circle, who would endure? Who will be exalted? Who will come out being on top? Right? The one that possesses the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Heavenly Father. Because the value comes from the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Heavenly Father. Because a man's life consisted not in the abundance of what he has, right? In terms of material wealth. Because that which he glories in, it is as grass, as the flower of grass. The grass withereth and the flower falleth away, right? But at the end of the day, when you have the knowledge of the Heavenly Father, Scripture tells you that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. It's through the acquisition of the wisdom, the knowledge of the Heavenly Father, that you're going to have true value, that you're going to be truly sustained, right? And have true stability, right? In the fear of the Lord. Zin, and with that, I hope that this lesson was edifying unto the elect. Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakar Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to all the brothers that's pushing this work in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom.